Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. It's episode 183 and my name is Tonchi Prusak. It's a pleasure to be with you here for tonight's episode. We're coming to you from Hume Reserve, home of Corio Soccer Club, where a little later on in the show we caught up with one of our guests for tonight, John Hammond, who is he's a marketing and sponsorship director of an Australian charity organisation called Happy Football Cambodia Australia. Last year, John, who is Geelong-based, was involved in a tournament, organising a tournament for underprivileged kids in Cambodia, and the tournament was actually held on the actual pitch of the national stadiums in the capital. So we'll be talking to John a little bit later on in the show. Also in tonight's show, remembering this week is a pre-recorded show because as we speak, I'm overseas at the moment. But next week I will be back live. But until then, we also caught up with Rob Pehar. He's the secretary of the North Geelong Warriors Football Club. His daughter, Maya, who's a member of the senior women's team at North Geelong, and also Jessie KNEZEVIC, who is the under-20 and under-23s player at Alco Park. Those three are involved in a fantastic project at the Warriors, the All Abilities football program. Earlier this year, we caught up with Josh Murray from Football Club Leopold and talked about their All Abilities program. Tonight, it's the Warriors' turn. We get a chance to see some of the good things that are happening down at Alco Park. Folks, don't go away. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we return, it'll be time for our very, very first guest. We'll be speaking with John Hammond.
The world is yours. So work hard, and you can have whatever it is you want.
And welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. And my next guest, well, he epitomises, I guess, what the sport of football can take you all over the world, literally. And John Hammond is someone who's involved in a charity that took him to Cambodia late last year. John, welcome to the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. How are you?
Good, Tonchi. How are you?
I'm very well, mate, very well. Now, when I say football's taken you all over the world, tell us a little bit about your story, because literally you've come from the other side of the world and you've got a very much a football pedigree, so to speak.
Yeah, well, being English, growing up in England, soccer was obviously a part of my life from a very young age. My dad and my granddad were Tottenham supporters. So I got taken to a Tottenham game when I was 5 years old. So that was me. I was in for good or bad. And yeah, started playing soccer from a young age. Loved it.
So you're London boy, born in London?
Yeah, born in London, South London. My local team was actually Crystal Palace.
Okay.
I should have been a Palace fan, but my dad and my granddad changed that. So yeah, Tottenham through and through.
Yeah, at the moment, Tottenham not doing too well. Are you kind of cursing the fact that your dad and granddad took you to Tottenham and not to Palace? But that's another story, isn't it? Yeah. Mate, how'd you end up in Geelong? How'd you end up, of all places, on the other side of the world in Geelong, Australia?
So I came over to Australia end of 2000, so 25 or so years ago, just to kind of check it out and have a look. Still here. I love it. It's great. My life's here now. So I was in Melbourne for 15 years and came down to Geelong just for, I guess, the sea change, build a house down here, better quality of life, maybe, close to the beaches, that kind of thing. So I've been in Geelong about 12 years now.
Yeah. Now, you obviously had, we're talking off air, you had, in recent years, you've had quite a fair bit of involvement with local football as a player. Tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll talk about your professional role, which has led you to Asia.
So look, I guess as you get older, it's harder to play sort of 11-a-side outdoors and that kind of thing. So I played indoors in Melbourne, 5-a-side, and when I came down to Geelong, I was looking to get back into that. So I played indoor 5-a-side at Belmont for 2 or 3 seasons, I think.
Valley,
and then that was a bit hard on the knees, and as you get older. And so I found the Masters League, which was fantastic. Joined Rangers and played a season with them. Did pick up a couple of injuries, unfortunately, but really enjoyed the games I played. It's something I would definitely consider getting back into. I think it's just fantastic, like the way it brings everyone together. And at that age, like, you really need something like that, something that's social, but also keeps you fit and isn't too serious. Everyone's on the same page. Like, no one wants to get injured. No one wants to walk away. Everyone's got jobs and families. And so it's not about, hurting each other. It's about looking after each other and having a fun time and enjoying the sport. Yeah,
no, it's fantastic to hear. And I think that's a really good point you make, John. We're coming here from Karaya Soccer Club, and there's a good reason, because you live literally just around the corner from Karaya Soccer Club. And just recently, the Masters had their final round here at Karaya Soccer Club. So all of these little programs like that, we will talk about some of those programs later on, are just so important to get people to integrate. And once upon a time was the migrants that integrated into Australian society through football, through soccer. And now we have so many new arrivals as well that are getting involved through soccer in their local community. But football has been a vehicle that has taken you to Asia, to Cambodia more specifically. And you're wearing the top there, HFCA, Happy Football Cambodia, Australia. Now, you're the marketing and sponsorship director for HFCA. Tell us a little bit more about the organisation, Happy Football Cambodia, Australia.
Sure, yeah. So it was set up by an Irish guy who was travelling over in Cambodia early 2000s. He was based in Melbourne, and he helped set up a school over there, an actual educational school initially, and called the Happy School. And then he decided that, there's lots of people doing schools and that kind of stuff. He wanted to do something different. He loved football. So he decided to, what he was influenced by was seeing kids running around the streets, right? If you go to Cambodia, if anyone's been to Asia, and lots of countries around the world, but particularly poor ones, there's kids running around playing football everywhere they can, in the street, in the gutters, in the rubbish tips, wherever they can. And they're all wearing, Real Madrid or, Arsenal or Barcelona tops or Man United or whatever, right? They all love football. It's a world game. Everyone loves it. So he was looking at these kids going, well, you know, they need somewhere safe to play. And there was nowhere safe. So he set up a safe sort of venue that they could play in. You know, everyone loved it. The kids were coming left, right and centre. It grew. They took over another pitch. They got some coaches in. And all of a sudden he had this monster on his hands that, you know, was really going to grow a lot. And we had a mutual friend. He didn't really know anything about, you know, marketing or a website or social media at that point. And, you know, and so our mutual friend introduced us and said, look, John's really good at that kind of stuff. Maybe he can help you. And yeah, the guy, his name is Porrick Grogan. And he said, oh, could you help me with all these things?
Yeah.
Need a website, need a Facebook page, need, you know, socials, marketing, fundraising events. And I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. You know, that sounds kind of fun.
Yep.
And yes, it's using my skill set, but also sort of giving back, doing something positive, you know, an interesting project. And that was 2007.
Yep.
So
wow.
My role just sort of has grown and grown and grown to become really kind of co-running the whole organization. He's based in Cambodia. I'm based here, but really I'm his right-hand man and doing everything from, sponsorship, to, you know, writing up policies and proposals and the marketing, the website,
all
socials,
the
all
back
that
end
sort of
stuff. Yeah. Incredible. Late last year in November, you ended up going to Cambodia, and as we can now see some pictures from there, and it was based at the Cambodian National Stadium. Is that right? Like that as we can see through the pictures, the stadium itself looks amazing. And the whole event, the tournament, was held at that very tournament, at that very
that's right.
stadium.
Yeah, that's right. So it was our 20th anniversary last year. So we wanted to do a couple of things to celebrate that. We did one in Melbourne, which was a boat party for a lot of our supporters in Melbourne.
Don't tell me you're playing football on the boat as well.
No. And then the other one was, over in Phnom Penh, the capital city. There's a newly built stadium, which is fantastic. So it made sense to do it there. We did a youth tournament in the morning. So we had kids from the programs all across the country come in on buses.
Yep.
So, again, we like to, facilitate these experiences for these kids. Like some of these kids have never left their village. They've come to Phnom Penh, which is the capital city, which for them is huge.
Yeah.
You know, even just to see Phnom Penh and visit Phnom Penh, to then play football in the national stadium is incredible for them. It's a lifetime experience, you know.
I mean, I'm a bit of a stadium nerd, and when I look at those photos and just standing pitch side and looking around at all those grandstands, albeit empty, but it's still a majestic feeling, an unbelievable feeling. For those kids, it must have been such a thrill to be, and as you said, Cambodia, a relatively poor country. You go to something like that, which seems ultra modern. The stadium must have been a phenomenal experience for them and for you, I guess.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They loved it. You could see it in their faces. And that's what makes it, that's what makes it for us. That's what we do it for, for those moments. Like even from just in the villages, taking them from, like I said, kicking a football around rubbish tip to an actual proper venue with a proper coach, on a weekly basis and meeting other kids and becoming inspired and teamwork. And that kind of stuff, and then potentially getting picked for a team. So we then choose kids to go into a local league. So we'll put a girls under-8s team into an under-8s league, or a boys under-12s team, or 15s, or whatever. All these different age groups, boys and girls, and we'll find leagues to put a team in. And so we'll pick these kids, and we'll have a coach, and we'll put them into. Like for them, that's mind-blowing. Yeah. And then beyond that, to take them to an overseas tournament, for instance, is incredible. These kids have never left their village. We get them a passport, we get them on a plane with some coachings, and we take them to a tournament in Singapore or the Homeless World Cup in Peru or somewhere. It's a mind-blowing experience for them.
Now you just mentioned the Homeless World Cup, and I was going to say that football is such an incredible vehicle, not just at the elite level or paraprofessional level, but at all levels. And thankfully in Geelong there are more and more of these little programs that are happening. But one program that's probably not so well known but has been around for a while, and I know an old friend of mine, colleague of mine, Foddy Kiprian, used to run it for many years, but the Homeless football, Homeless World Cup. You've kind of had a bit of involvement in that as well. Not so much here in Geelong, more in Melbourne, but also to an extent here in Geelong. Tell us a bit more about that concept as well.
Well, so the Homeless World Cup runs every year in a different country, in a different city, and teams come from all around the world. A lot of countries have a program similar to ours. So ours is the Cambodian program. For instance, in Australia, there's a program called the Street Socceroos. Yep. So there'd be different places around the country that have a weekly program, and people who have gone through, whether it be homelessness or drug and alcohol issues, mental health issues, it gives them, as I was saying about like the kids in Cambodia, it gives them a place to go on a regular basis that's facilitated for them. We've got coaches, people who care about their mental health and are there to support them. And also then they're meeting their peers. They're meeting other people who've gone through similar issues. And they're focusing not on those. They're focusing on football. Right, kicking a ball around, having fun, doing something physical, inspiring each other, and then potentially getting picked to then represent their country. Yeah. And get on a plane and go somewhere fun and exciting and play against other people who are also from similar backgrounds. Yeah. And then it's not about the game or winning the game, and it's certainly not about injuring other players or being aggressive in any way, because everyone knows that everyone's been through some issues. Yeah. And they're representing their country, and it's fantastic. Like the spirit and what they get out of doing that is incredible. And it's all about, their self-esteem basically, and feeling great about themselves and feeling like they're achieving something and representing their country and seeing and visiting somewhere that they may not get the chance to do otherwise.
Yeah. Before we let you go, John, was there anything else that you wanted to add?
Look, I did just want to go back to the tournament we did last year in Phnom Penh. Just to mention, so we did the youth tournament in the morning. So as I mentioned, amazing for the kids to be there. What we did after that was a VIP tournament. So we had our board members who came over from Australia. We had our board members in Cambodia. We have an advisory board, so we have some quite famous Cambodians. Yep. So they took part in the game. It was lots and lots of fun, and we put it out on lots of media. So we get quite a lot of media coverage now in Cambodia, having been around for 20 years. Yep. Which is pretty good. Yep. So it's again about just getting that exposure. So anything we can do to promote our profile, even an interview like this, for instance. Yep. And have people following our socials. So we're on Facebook. Have a look. HFCA, Happy Football Cambodia, Australia.
So you'll see that in the ticker right now.
Yeah.
Hello.
And also our website as well, hfca.org.au. We've got, all the stories of all the things we've done, all the tournaments we've taken the kids to, all the places we've been to for the Homeless World Cup. It's really quite an amazing story. When I look back, sometimes it just makes me feel really proud. Obviously, we are a charity, so we do rely on donations and sponsors and all that kind of stuff. So if anyone feels like donating or getting involved in any way, then please feel free to contact us.
Otherwise, opportunities, that's what we talk about, and what the world of opportunities that football as a sport, as a vehicle, opens up to so many people. We talk about football on this program and talk about the local leagues and the local sides, competitions, but there's also there's such a social and therapeutic element of football that we've tackled today, thanks to you, mate. So thank you so much for joining us on the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Wishing you all the best with the HFCA, the Happy Football Cambodia Australia organisation. And any plans to go back to Cambodia or anything like that?
Not just at the moment. I do sort of get over there probably every 2 or 3 years. Yep. It's really great just to see the programs in person, but no set plans at the moment.
That's right. All right. Thank you very much. John Hammond joining us here on the Geelong Region Soccer Show from Happy Football Cambodia, Australia. Folks, we're going to be back after this short break.
EcoDuct is a Geelong-based business which manufactures an environmentally friendly low-profile duct system that is specifically designed for high-rise apartment applications where limited ceiling spaces are common. The innovative duct system is used to exhaust kitchen and bathroom ventilation where there are limited ceiling spaces. The only Australian-made PVC duct supplier in the country, EcoDuct, has full control over its stock and has an unlimited supply to ensure all projects run smoothly. They are 30% cheaper than the imported products and are 100% Australian made. Made from best environmental practices, their products are made of up to 50% recycled material and is 100% recyclable and compliant to all Australian standards. For more information, call EcoDuct now on 03 5278 5573. That's 03 5278 5573, or visit their website at ecoduct.com.au. EcoDuct are proud sponsors of the North Geelong Warriors Football Club.
Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. And we've just completed a very successful 4-week program, All Abilities program at the North Geelong Warriors Soccer Club. And the good news is it has been extended. And to tell us a little bit more about how it went and the good news about the extension, we've got the coordinator of the All Abilities program here at North Geelong Warriors, Robert Pehar. Robert, good evening and welcome to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. How are you?
Good, thanks, Tunch.
Now, the good news is the program's been extended, but before we talk about the future, let's talk about the past, I guess. The program, what was the All Abilities program? What did it involve and how did it come about?
So I took on to the role about being a club secretary. So initially when we kind of came into the committee role, everyone had like their own little mission statement. And mine was seeing if we can attract an All Abilities program at the club. So it's a bit of a personal mission on my part, you know what I mean? So for me, it's all about getting these kids that probably miss out in the junior level, at a senior level, that don't really kind of fit in the normal traditional scheme of things when you're playing football in Australia or Victoria. So I did a bit of an outreach to see who would kind of encourage or probably be a mentor for me to kind of start this at a club. It's not an easy thing starting something from ground up.
Yeah, a lot of clubs have tried in the past, and I believe years and years ago, North Geelong did try for a short program, but it is difficult, and you really need dedicated staff, and that's where you come into it. Yeah,
that's correct. So what I did was initially reached out to like Gen U, Football Victoria, and other organisations. I even reached out to some specialist needs schools like Bowen Valley. And Football Victoria responded straight away. The coordinator up at Football Victoria basically said, perfect timing, this is what we needed. We already had a program in Geelong at Armstrong Creek and at the Geelong Soccer Club.
Yes, Robin Walker ran the Armstrong Creek, and was it Nick Petrovsky at Geelong?
Correct,
we had him on the show last year.
Yes. So I reached out to those individuals and I asked them for a bit of guidance to see how they run their program. And it was invaluable. Like when it comes to like special needs or All Abilities, you'll be amazed how people just want to help and reach out. So I started off like that, and bit by bit liaising with Football Victoria and kind of getting our own, I suppose, identity in the Geelong region. That was my main focus, and to utilise the facilities that we have here at North Geelong.
Yeah, no, that's quite awesome. Last year, in fact, this is not the first year that it was done. Last year was a bit of a pilot project, and you were behind that, you were involved in that, and we can see some of the footage and some of the photos from last year's program there on the screen as we're talking. But how did that go? How did that initial project go?
It was nervous because you don't know if people actually reach out, because we had other programs within Geelong. So because we're like located in the Lara region, and we wanted to make sure that something like was home based. They felt like they belonged to North Geelong.
Yep.
Okay. So that was our main mission, to actually say you're part of our family. This is North Geelong's family and the greater in the soccer community in Geelong. But for me, it was more about making sure that we had a home base for Geelong, for the Lara region. And when I kind of reached out and I did the pilot program, we had about 7 to 8 registered people. But you can't make people come week in, week out. It's sometimes we have to encourage and wait and kind of see what the situation kind of happened at the time. But slowly and gradually, people started buying into what we were selling. And when I'm saying selling, it's basically no hidden messages in anything that we do. It's just purely about making sure the kids
Yep.
enjoy themselves, and they want to come back. And the way we gauged it was if they left with a smile and they want to come back each week,
Yep.
that was a success.
Now, mate, you were telling me off air how serious the club is approaching this project, because it's not just kind of a flash in the pan, so to speak, but you've gone to the extent of actually producing a mission statement or basically set of values of what you want this program, this All Abilities program, to entail.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about that.
So that mission statement, it is a bit long-winded to making sure that we kind of reach where we want to reach as a club. So as a club, we understand that not everyone kind of gets what they want out of it. So when we kind of look at this All Abilities, we want to be able to say, right, he's got a set of needs, we need to address it. This person needs a set of needs.
So like on an individual basis?
Has to be.
Wow.
You can't kind of put a massive program and to say, all right, this is going to cover everyone.
Yeah.
Each individual is an individual, and we treat him as that, and we make sure that he feels welcome, or her.
Yep.
And that's why when I was kind of selling it, where I had a football Victoria coach last year with me in Zane.
Yep.
Big reach out to Zane. I hope he's watching. But he was fantastic.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I was there with him, and sometimes we had the parents on the sideline. We got the parents involved. You know what I mean? Because it's not about us being just working. Sometimes we have to encourage through parent participation.
But no,
also.
that's, I guess, the beauty of the sport. We talk about football being an inclusive sport, and I sincerely believe only soccer can cater for absolutely everyone. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, young, old, talented, starting out, able-bodied, or all abilities. It's the one sport that truly can involve everyone.
When we first started, we had kids that didn't want to get out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
We had kids that didn't want to even kick the ball or touch the ball. Sometimes we just had to sit there and sometimes we just listen to what they got to say. So we had kids of different, I suppose, levels. Some were non-verbal, some were very verbal, but socially they just couldn't connect. So we had to kind of work with those individuals to see where they are. And like I said, if they came back each week and they came back with a smile, fantastic. That's all it's all about, making sure that they kind of got a part in this world for us.
Now, the 4-week program has just finished. It was fully funded by Football Victoria, which is absolutely awesome. But you as a club has made the decision to extend this program.
Yeah, correct.
Exciting news, folks. Exciting news. Listen to this.
Yeah, so at the start of the year, I actually did some grant applications.
Yep.
And that wasn't really my forte. So I actually sat down, read through the actual criteria, applied through Sports Recreation Victoria. One was for making sure we can kid out these kids, make sure we've got the right equipment for them, and adults, or shouldn't say just kids, but also training. So the other thing was making sure that the people we get involved got the empathy, right, and the right attitude to work with these kids. Okay, so I got funding for that also. So
and you have to train up the coaches as well, don't you?
So I'm lucky enough that we've got 2 individuals who have put their hand up.
And we'll be talking to those two very shortly.
So our 2 coaches, one's male, one's female, one's in our under 23 seniors, came for the junior ranks. The other one's same deal, played in our mini roos right up to our senior women's.
Yep.
Okay, so these 2 individuals have kind of taken to another level, which takes me away from me being personally hands-on.
Yep.
And sometimes these kids, I suppose, interact better with the younger generation than us older folks.
What are you looking at me for when you say that?
Listen, when you're starting to get the greys.
I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. That's what do you think I wear caps all the time to cover that? Yeah.
I'm happy in the sense that they've kind of taken on board, listened to what I've got to say, and I've kind of encouraged them to go further. And I said, listen, I'm happy to kind of provide with the funding that we've received from Sports Recreation Victoria and the liaison that I've got with Leisure Network and other organisations within our Geelong region. I'm happy to kind of support these individuals in their kind of, I suppose, journey in this All Abilities program that we've got. but I'm encouraging parents who are kind of undecided and kind of not sure about where they sit in it. Calm down, see what the club's about. We're all about the kids, the adults, making sure they're part of our family too.
Awesome. And on that note, before we wind up, when is the program? Is it on every Thursday,
Every
at
Thursday
North Geelong at the Warriors?
Yep, so at 5:45 to 6:45 every Thursday. And coming soon, or actually we should be running the program, we're having every Thursday night dinner nights.
Yep.
So it's about being at the club, being part of the family, enjoying your time here, and hopefully...
And then getting a bite afterwards at the club rooms.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Excellent. Well, we wish you all the best, mate. We're going to take a very short break. When we do return, we'll be speaking to those two coaches, Jesse KNEZEVIC, current under-23 player who's also coaching, and Maja Pehar, who happens to be your daughter in the senior women's team. How good is that? Players putting something back into the club. We'll be talking to them shortly after the break. But, Robbie, all the very best for the program going ahead.
I appreciate it, Tom. Thanks.
Okay,
What do we do at J Hill Books? For some clients, we process their payroll, accounts, and invoicing every week. For other clients, we check their data entry and reconcile their accounting software to their bank statement before lodging their quarterly BAS. We set up new accounting software files and train clients how to use them. We work with clients across varied industries, from hospitality to construction to disability support to professional services and tradies. As we have a team of bookkeepers, we can offer uninterrupted service to our clients. Our preferred method of bookkeeping is using Dext and Xero. J Hill Books is a Xero Gold partner and a registered BAS agent. One important message we would like to convey right now is that from July 1st, 2026, Payday Super is coming. This means all employers need to pay super on the same day they pay their wages. This will have a huge impact on cash flow for employers, and they need to start preparing for this now. Please get in touch if we can help you with this transition. Visit our website at www.jhillbooks.com.au or contact us on 0402 469 243.
I appreciate it, Tom. Thanks.
Okay, we just heard from Robbie Pehar. He's the coordinator of the All Abilities program here at North Geelong. Now we're speaking with the coaches, and next to me, he's almost as tall as me, one of the under-23 players, Jesse KNEZEVIC. How are you, Jesse?
Good. How are you, Tonchi?
I'm good. And you're one of the coaches in the All Abilities program.
That's correct.
Yeah. And next to him, we've got a member of the North Geelong Warriors senior women's team, Maja Pehar, who's Robbie's daughter. Now, Maja, first of all, starting with you, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good, yourself?
I'm very good. Now, were you forced to do this program because of Dad, or you actually genuinely wanted to do it?
I generally wanted to do it. Yeah.
And what was the thing that made you really want to coach the All Abilities program?
I just think that it's good to give everyone an opportunity to play football and experience the culture of North Geelong Warriors.
Yep. That's awesome. That is really cool. Yeah. And you've got like a personal reason for it as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've got someone in the family, and has that person that your brother, has he come along to some of these sessions as well?
Yes, he has come along to the sessions, and I just think it's good, like seeing him improve week by week.
Yeah.
His confidence and seeing his progression, in his athletic abilities, and interacting with the other people in the group as well has been really positive. And
what about some of the other participants? How do you kind of find them? Do they really enjoy doing it? Robbie was saying there was some, when they first started, they didn't want to get out of the car, but now they just sort of seem to be coming along and loving it. So how do you find that interaction with them?
It's really nice to see like them socializing with each other and seeing their confidence grow on and off the pitch as well. It's been really positive. Yeah.
Jesse, now obviously you've come up through the ranks here at North Geelong. You've started being a junior. You played at elite level in there in the under 23. So obviously you approach the football, very competitively, very win at all costs type of thing. That's what's got you to where it is now.
Sure.
How do you find coaching or being, coaching other, where it's completely kind of a different type of a sort of a aim, I guess. It's more of a participation, enjoyment, teaching someone how to fall in love with the sport the way you did. How do you find that?
Yeah, look, it's a lot of fun seeing just any kid fall in love with the game just the same way I did. Coming up the ranks here at North Geelong, just absolutely loved playing the game. So I'm just trying to teach the kids what I got taught and help them love the game as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic when we keep on saying that it's great for players to be involved in the club, to put back something into the sport. And a lot of players, sort of tend to think, they play the sport for themselves. But you really are heavily involved because you're not only just doing the all abilities. I hear you're also coaching young kids out at Western Heights as well. So there's a lot of different elements to your young coaching career, but also your playing career. All these coaching kind of little gigs, if you like, how do you find that on your own football? Does it kind of make you kind of appreciate the game a little bit better from a different perspective? And does it kind of make you almost like a professor of the sport, so to speak?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously coaching and playing, you've got to look at the game in two different ways.
Yeah,
From a coaching perspective, you've got to see tactics, what players can do to improve, and you apply that to your own football. So you look back on things like match day recordings and you think, how can I improve? So yeah, for sure, it makes you look at the game in a different way. And yeah, it's good to always have a second opinion on your own games as well as other people's games and how can they improve.
Yeah. Maya, being involved in the All Abilities program and at the same time you're obviously training with your own side of things, has your outlook on the sport, have you kind of fallen even more in love with soccer because of this program? Does it kind of give you a real warm and tingly feeling, so to speak, being involved with this sport?
100%. I think it just shows there's no limitations whereby you are neurologically diverse. There's no limitations to the sport. If you love it, I just think that you can do it. Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
It's just really nice to see that.
And tell me, what sort of drills do you run with them? Like, is the emphasis more on fun? Is it more on just basic skills? Do they actually kind of like to have a little bit of a competitive nature to them? What sort of drills do you run?
The drills that we do at training, it's a bit of both, bit of running, agility, just doing those simple touches with the ball and try and get them to interact with each other, passing, running, going through cones. And little things like that, is it kind of quite simple, straightforward, or do you have to sort of explain it in a different kind of a way? We do a bit of mixture of both. We do some of the more simple drills, and then sometimes we do the more complicated, just so they're using their motor skills and just improving their physical ability as well. Yeah.
And Jessie, how about yourself? How do you find interpreting some of the drills to some of these participants? Do you kind of have to do a different way? Do you have to repeat yourself a few times, or do you have to kind of explain it to each individual person in a different way?
Yeah, look, every person has their own different way of learning. So I think from the get-go, you've got to explain it not only vocally, but also visually. So it's a lot of telling them exactly what to do, but then also showing it, applying it. And what they see is what they'll do. So a lot of the times in our sessions, we like to focus a lot on physical, but also technical abilities. So whether that's them running around with the ball or even just running around in general, because a lot of these kids never got the ability to play football or even just any sport. Because,
so just teaching them basic hand-eye coordination and that kind of stuff.
So
amazing.
Foot-eye coordination, anything like that. Even just physical stuff, get them out of the house and running. It's the best type of physical activity for any
awesome.
kid. So, yeah.
I'm impressed, folks. I really am. Congratulations to both of you for putting something into the sport and obviously still being involved in the sport at the highest level here in Geelong for you, respectively. We wish you all the best, and hopefully this program is going to go for years on.
Thank you, Tochi.
Thank you so much.
Good on you. We'll be back after this very short break. And that, folks, brings us to the end of episode 183 of the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Something a little bit different, some different football programs. But next week we will return live, and we'll be looking at all of the football action that's happening this weekend coming up around the region, involving all of the region clubs. So much to talk about, and I do look forward to seeing you back in Australia live next week at 8 p.m. on Monday. Bye-bye.